Hi there everybody, my name is Abigail Lyles, and over the past few, I guess it's been about 3 months, I've been working on a team of 7 people, including myself, and we put together a game called Remembering You. And so this video, I'm just going to sort of take you through it and talk about all the different things that we have done over the past few months. A lot of that time was dedicated to pre-production and high concept. Pre-production was prototype phasing, which was my job. There's a video of it up on the channel. But right now I'm just going to go over the different things that we have done in creating the game and talk a little bit about the mechanics and everything. I think it's come together really well. We still have a lot to do before Master in terms of, making it even better. But be excited, it's pretty cool. So here's the controls, and this is a placeholder image, but it is our control scheme. So hotkeys, C to open the palette, the classic WASD to run, or sprint to shift to sprint, and space to jump. Right now we can't continue because we haven't started anything in this game instance. So we're gonna hit new game. And it might be a little bit difficult to hear me over the game if I haven't mixed the audio right. But here's our main character.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
She makes noise now. That's my voice. I recorded the sound and edited it and put it in the game. See that. We're not in prototype anymore, and our sky is gray, and there's some rainbow hues on the underside of the building, and I've added little footsteps. And the flowers are all different types of pickups. There's a lot of things added in visually. You can also see an indicator on the bottom of the screen that indicates how much paint you have of each color if you have like a full action of each. And footsteps will change color depending on what you have equipped. So let's get through the tutorial.
Yep.
The tutorial is kind of like a sandbox. And we essentially just wanted it to be like, you could explore the different mechanics, you could paint different things, you wouldn't worry about running out of pickups here.
Yep. Yep.
And one thing you will notice is that the buildings, instead of just coloring red, are going to color whatever I have equipped right now. Which was a very big improvement to the game. It's much more exciting to have a say in what the world looks like as you color it than just like sort of blindly go through it and watch all the buildings turn red. Even the colors look better, just the variation between them.
Yep.
So on this project, I programmed mechanics. So that is the passive and active coloring, the pickups, the UI. I handled the programming for almost all of it. I had help with the materials programming, some of the animation blueprints, and some of the UI visuals. You can cheese a few jumps around here, which we're trying to fix up a little bit, but this is the tutorial. It's like a sandbox. These easels are going to be where you can, interact with them to see these messages that are sort of going to guide you of how to play the game and like what the mechanics are. Just in case you forget, so you can have a more active reminder of how to do stuff other than just like this guide on the beginner screen. That's just the control schematics. So we're going to mix all our secondaries right now, because it's going to spawn some new pickups in the world, so we don't have to use up colors mixing them. And so one thing that we're going to do to inspire the player to mix earlier on to unlock these pickups is that instead of having them invisible, we're going to have them be like grayed out buds that will bloom when you color them, or have the corresponding color. And so that's going to be like, oh, there's something I can unlock through coloring, instead of it being a surprise when you mix, or missing something and using more color than you had to. There's our Greeble. He's really sad. And if he hits me, respawn here, and I go to the fountain to respawn and get my paint. Now, the safe zones are the blue zones. So if he sees me... Right now, the Greeble doesn't make any sound. That's one thing we're gonna add in the master. Almost got me. You almost feel bad for him, though, you know? Another improvement we're gonna make is for the door to open inwards both times, so you don't get hit in the face with it or get stuck. I know that there was a playtester who got stuck, so we're gonna have to fix that. And that should be a pretty easy fix, actually, so I'm not worried about it. I think we've all been working on the project long enough to where if there's a problem that comes in the way, it's not really like as much a oh no as oh man, let's go in and fix that now. But I almost like it when we get to fix a problem. It feels like, you know, doing work. Like, you've made your game that much more stable. It's that much more, you know, sturdy, formidable now. So I enjoy debugging, it's fun. And it's very satisfying, so... My only complaint when there's a bug is... when we actually get to it. Which I can get to that tonight at the latest. One thing you'll notice is we have these little saplings now. I actually modeled those. And they color a cool color if you have a cool color equipped, so like a cooler green. And so this one's going to be a warmer green since I'm red. You can see like the difference between those two, even in shadow. Now it looks like we need some orange. And one thing we might also implement is some caps on like paint mixing, so I can't just make like infinite orange and get myself stuck. We're also going to have some way to return the crate to its original position. Right now we're thinking sort of like a phantom crate sits in its place, and if you hit that, then the crate will return to its original point. So if you get your crate in a corner, you don't have to start the level over, because that would be really annoying. But I really like the sandbox approach of the tutorial. It gives the player some time to just have fun with the different mechanics. I think that the environment is simple, so you know that it's not like a quote-unquote real level, or at least not a level with really any stakes, or any hidden things to collect. At least right now. Could be cool to have a secret tutorial thing. See, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? That it opens and it can push me around. We'll fix that up. That's our material dissolve. Now here's level 1 for real. And you can see it's a little pink girl. And the music is different, you know. Right now, that's the yellow-green grass, which the tone of it needs to be adjusted. It's way too bright. But that's an easy fix. See, the windows color complementary to the buildings, and I did that so that, you know, there would be a little bit more variation, even if you chose one color to go with the whole time. You still get to see some spots of other colors. Plus, it's fun to just have, like, the different combinations, you know. Over there's a sketchbook pickup, and we don't have any sketchbook pages right now. We're gonna add in some flipping sound effects when you flip between them. Plus, the windows are sort of a subtle encouragement of, like, you know, thinking about color theory and complementaries. You can sneak a blue window onto a red building if you're orange when you pass it. It's kind of challenge, I think. Yeah, you'd have to actually try in order to make everything the same color, but we were thinking maybe of having like achievements like that. So for the sketchbook, that's made from 6 pages. You can capture. Wait a second. There we go. Sometimes the jump pad, it's like a launch mechanic. And you can see my footprints are red right now. So jump pads usually work. Sometimes there need to be small adjustments with them. Looks like I'm missing 1 yellow. So let's go find 1 yellow. She falls on her face if you fall from a long distance. And here we have foliage blocking off the exits, so it's kind of fun to run through and color everything. Let's go find ourselves some yellow. You can see the road's cooler when I have blue equipped than it is if I have red. All the trees over here are cool toned because I have a cool green, as it corresponds to my blue as opposed to like the warm trees over there. You can also change it up as you run through. We're gonna make the blue a little bit more vibrant, just because some of the objects are a lot more vibrant than others, and the stairs are gonna be darker. Just adjust the tones. Also just the tones of the gray items, just to make the world a little bit more interesting even before you colored it. Let's mix our other colors so we can see those secret pickups spawn. Here's our green. Let's try purple. And as said before, it's way more fun to have a say in like what colors the world becomes than just watch everything become like a predetermined color, which was honestly an adjustment that I was at first a bit hesitant about like the meaning of the game and her restoring her love of painting. But I think that, you know, first of all, it's way more fun, and second of all, it really does, you know, have a better meaning if the player can enjoy painting too. You know, because at the end of the game, or end of the day, the player and the character are supposed to, well, usually have similar goals. Or at least, you know, if the player is enjoying something, then the character should be too in a game like this, and vice versa. We don't want to make it all about a fictional character's fun times if it's boring to the player. So let's go look at what sketchbook page we got. We got the first one, and that was done by one of the other artists on our team, Kristen, and she did 3 pages, and I did 3 pages, so I'm going to redo some of mine just because I don't have a lot of programming up till Master, since a lot of the mechanics, the base mechanics have been in since Alpha, and refined throughout Beta development, and up till Master. My main job is just to continue refining things, but it's not taking as long as it did through the other 2 productions, so I think I'm going to have some extra time in order to help out with materials, help out with animations, and redo some of my sketchbook pages so that the art is up to par, because it's not bad, but it's a little bit sloppy, I think, in just terms of how it was arranged. Alright. Technically I have enough yellow to get over there. That didn't really take me anywhere. Oh well. Got duped. Yes, I've played this level many times, but it's big and you forget things. beta level is a little bit new to me since design team was working on it a lot and we migrated it in pretty shortly before we actually got to turn in beta. So I've only played it all the way through a couple times since I got it on Sunday, and today is Wednesday. Wait a second. So the crate issue is supposed to be... There we go. A little bit difficult to jump up there. I still might even lower that a little bit further, just because I don't want the main challenge of the game to lie in jumping in the right places, unless, you know, playtesters respond well to that challenge. And over the next week, I'm going to model some more decorative foliage as well, just to give, like, us some more bushes, some non-pickup flowers. Just things to enhance the world a little bit more, especially those safe spaces with the fountain where you respawn. You know, when we were making the high concept, our main character, she likes flowers in nature, which is why, you know, she's got a flower on her brush, a flower on her brooch. The pickups are flowers. So to have more of those throughout the world, especially in areas that are coded to be safe, would be a big deal. Maybe even just at least it'd be a big deal to me, you know, having those details and having the world come together. So the sketchbook pages are made from the perspective of the mentor, our late mentor, whose death has brought on sort of the grief that has grayed out our main character's world. So I don't have enough orange to get. Well, actually, it might have enough to mix. Yep. Some of these saplings were placed here to keep the player from getting the crate stuck. Now, that area specifically you need to watch out for, because you can get stuck there. Because you can't reset crate position, which will be fixed. Now that we've decided how we're doing it, I can go ahead and program it in. That was the main reason I was waiting after beta, just because I wanted the team to agree on how we were putting that mechanic in. Because one thing that I've learned is, it's important to do a lot of things yourself, but it's also really important to listen to your team. Oop, I have like no green. Let's mix them. If there's any orange over here. There's one. I can't walk under there. Gotta like make the colliders a little larger on those pillars. So we got another one. Let's see, which one is this? Oh yeah. So there's one of mine, and that's my drawing of the mentor. And it was actually flipped on the x-axis, which is why it looks a little bit goofy. So I'm gonna go in and ask the I think we have one of our support guys on setting up the sketchbook pages, so I'm gonna ask him to flip that back around. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty nice with like the sketchy aesthetic of the sketchbook pages. I'm gonna redo my flowers for sure, and I think I don't plan to redo the mentor.
Yep.
But, like, I wouldn't be against redoing it, you know? Now, I think I'll probably cut the video out after I get, to the train yard, just because I modeled the train cars, and I think they look pretty good in the game.
Yep.
And her oof was originally gonna play when she fell on the ground, and the ouch was supposed to be for the enemy. But, you know, the ouch was so darling, we just decided to put it in for the fall instead. And here's the elevator. It's red because red is vertical movement. Orange is a sturdy color, which is why it's the crates. Purple is introspective, which is why it's the doors. Blue is sort of a quiet color, which is why it's the safe zone areas. Green is a support color as well, so that's why it's the bridges and ramps. And yellow is a very cheery color, which is why we chose it for vertical movement. Or not vertical. Yellow is horizontal, red is vertical. And the reason that we differentiate the two is that red is a faster wavelength of light, which I think, at least in my mind, corresponds better to like vertical movement. You would need to move faster to move up with the force of gravity than you would to move to the side. Might be a bit of an overcomplicated explanation, but that's the way I think of it. Now, we're right about at the train yard. Here's a little transitional room. Oh yeah, I have to pay more purple. I get so invested, I forget to mix more paint. Now, let's do yellow. Yellow's purple's complementary color. Oh yeah, it doesn't cost anything to paint a fountain, this is just your checkpoint, so if I wanted to repaint this purple to go with the fence, I could. And we change building collisions, the ones way at the top will paint too, so that you don't get through like the whole level and look back on the city and only see the gray skyline because you didn't get close enough to the tops of buildings you can't reach. So that was something we noticed getting further along, and we were like, oh, we can't expect the player to paint things way above them. Here's the train cars! I modeled the train cars. Sort of went with the relatively low poly style. There's a different, or there another object that will paint whatever color you have equipped. So there they are. I don't remember which sketchbook that one is. There's one of our big greebles. And right now, the big ones function the same as the smaller ones. But we're gonna try to differentiate the functions between them some more. And right now the collision on the safe zone needs to be fixed a little bit. We have a collision that happens when you get near it to make the highlight show up. We also have a splashing noise play as you're walking through, but I'm not sure if you can hear it. Listen. So we might need to turn up the sound effects on the splash a little bit more and fix the collisions. And the reason that the bad guy doesn't seem to be super interested in me after hitting me for the first time is just because the collision on the safe zone is a little too big. And so once the enemies hit the safe zone, they forget about you. So he's hitting the sphere, I believe, around the safe zone, rather than just hitting the safe zone. So he's forgotten that I'm here. Now he remembers. But there's the warehouse and the final shrine you can see up there on the building. So the windows were organized to be more realistic looking. Though I'm not sure if I like that more than the sort of like wacky, childlike arrangement of them over here. So I think I'll get some more opinions on that. If we make it very clear that we're in her mind, the childlike one is fine. But we got a little bit of realistic looking, that's something that professionals in the industry might grill us for. So, for now, we're gonna keep that open to feedback. But for the most part, that's the game. And you see, now that we got the tutorial, we can actually continue and go back to level 1. But thank you for watching. And we'll have the master out. It's by December 1st. And maybe I'll have another progress video before then.